Welcome to the Shifted Self. If you're on a journey of inner growth, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to a new version of yourself. There's a moment in life when you realize you've spent far too long watching everyone else, comparing, doubting, chasing validation. But the truth is, the more you look outward, the more you lose yourself. This is your wake-up call. You don't need to be like them. You don't need their permission to grow. The power is already in you, but only if you turn inward. When you focus on yourself, everything changes. Break the illusion you were taught to measure your worth through others, through their reactions, their silence, their approval. But that's the illusion. They were never the standard. The real journey begins when you stop waiting to be noticed and start seeing yourself clearly. You don't need to outperform anyone. You only need to outgrow who you used to be. Because every time you compare, you hand your power away to a world that doesn't even know your soul. When you focus on others, you forget your mission. But when you focus on yourself, you remember, you are the mission. This isn't about ego. It's about reclaiming your attention. Because attention is energy, and what you give it to grows. The power of isolation silence can be uncomfortable. Isolation can feel like punishment. But what if that silence is sacred? What if that space alone was never emptiness, but the environment where your real self starts to speak? You don't need the crowd to validate your growth. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will happen in solitude. Because when you're alone, you hear the voice you've been drowning out with distractions. There is power in stepping back. Power in becoming unavailable to noise, gossip, and chaos. You weren't born to be constantly seen. You were born to evolve. Focus is forged in isolation. You become sharper, more intentional, and suddenly, the opinions that once controlled you become irrelevant. Reclaim your energy. Your energy is your most valuable currency. But every day, you give it away without realizing, scrolling, reacting, explaining yourself, trying to be understood by people who were never meant to understand you. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's survival. You can't keep leaking power and expect to rise. You weren't built for constant exposure, constant connection, constant proving. You were built for purpose. The more you redirect your focus inward, the more you realize how much you've been drained by things that never mattered. Energy lost to meaningless arguments, to pleasing everyone, to trying to fix what was never yours to fix. It's time to reclaim your energy. Because when your energy returns, so does your clarity, your strength, your power. The trap of comparison is the thief of joy, but more than that, it's the thief of identity. You weren't meant to walk someone else's path. And every time you try, you step further away from your own. You scroll through their lives, their highlight reels, and convince yourself you're falling behind. But you're not behind. You're just distracted from your direction. There's no timeline to becoming who you are. No race. No scoreboard. Growth is not public. Transformation doesn't need applause. You don't need to look at someone else's garden to know yours can grow too. You just need to keep watering it. Consistently, quietly, patiently. When you stop comparing, you finally focus on what truly matters, your own growth. That's when the expansion begins. When you stop looking outward, and start growing from within. Build in the shadows. The loudest work isn't always the deepest. Some of the most powerful transformations happen when no one is watching. No applause, no spotlight. Just quiet commitment. You don't need to announce your growth. Let your results speak. Let your habits reveal your future. You weren't made to convince others. You were made to become something unshakable. In the shadows, you sharpen your mind. You train your focus. You build a foundation no one can take from you. And when the time comes to step into the light, you won't need to prove anything. You'll be ready. Detach from the noise. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion should enter your mind. We live in a world addicted to noise. Everyone talking, few listening. But you weren't designed for constant input. You were designed for clarity. Every time you chase validation, you abandon your own voice. Every time you let the noise dictate your direction, you lose alignment with who you really are. Detaching from the noise isn't isolation, it's elevation. It's how you rise above the chaos and return to center. You'll know you're growing when silence no longer scares you, when peace becomes more powerful than attention, and when you no longer need to explain your path, you just walk it. Redefine success. Success isn't what they told you it was. It's not louder, richer, faster. It's quieter, more grounded. It's peace of mind when no one's watching. It's waking up proud of who you're becoming. You've been conditioned to chase someone else's version of success. But real power comes when you define it for yourself. Maybe success for you is healing from what they said you'd never recover from. Maybe it's showing up every day, even when no one claps. Maybe it's finally choosing purpose over pressure. True. Success isn't about being seen, it's about seeing clearly. And once you redefine what it means to win, you stop playing their game and start building your own. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a spark. It gets you going, but it won't keep you going. Discipline is what carries you when the excitement fades, when no one's watching. When quitting feels easier than continuing. You won't always feel inspired. You won't always feel ready. But your future doesn't care how you feel today. It's shaped by what you do anyway. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect in action. It's showing up when it's hard, because the version of you're becoming is worth it. When you focus on yourself, you stop chasing short bursts of hype and start building unshakable momentum. That's the power of discipline. Quiet, steady, and unstoppable. Discipline is self-respect. Discipline has been misunderstood. It's not punishment. It's not restriction. It's self-respect in motion. When you respect your time, you don't waste it. When you respect your mind, you don't feed it junk. When you respect your soul, you stop chasing things that shrink it. Discipline is the quiet force behind real transformation. It's not loud. It doesn't ask for applause. It's waking up early when no one's watching. It's keeping your word to yourself. It's choosing long-term peace over short-term pleasure. And yes, it's hard, but so is regret. So is living out of alignment. So is becoming a version of you that no longer feels like home. Self-respect means setting standards even when it makes you less likable, even when it means saying no, even when you have to walk alone. Because the truth is, if you want to evolve, You'll have to protect the environment where growth happens. That environment is you. Protect your peace. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every battle is yours to fight. Protecting your peace means learning to walk away from noise, from drama, from anything that costs your inner balance. You don't owe the world constant access to your mind. You don't need to explain why you're choosing silence over chaos. Your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves a piece of it. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to say nothing and keep moving forward. When you focus on yourself, you realize peace is not a place you find. It's something you create, protect, and prioritize. Guard it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Keep showing up. It won't always make sense. It won't always feel worth it. Some days, the progress will be invisible, but it's still happening. Every time you show up for yourself, you build resilience. Every time you keep going, you strengthen your identity. Real transformation isn't loud, it's quiet. It happens in the small moments, in the unseen efforts, in the choices no one applauds. So keep showing up. Even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when nothing around you changes. Yet, when you focus on yourself, you stop waiting for permission to grow. You give it to yourself. And that's when everything changes. Detach to realign. There comes a moment when detachment becomes necessary. Not as an act of coldness, but as a declaration of alignment. You stop engaging in what drains you. You no longer chase what confuses you. You simply let go. Let go of what's not feeding your soul. Let go of people who only show up when they need something. Let go of the expectations you inherited, the timelines, the pressure, the false urgency to become someone faster, because healing doesn't follow a schedule. Alignment doesn't need approval. And self-worth isn't a vote, it's a knowing. When you detach, you create space. Space to feel again. Space to choose from intuition, not fear. Space to build a life that reflects who you truly are, not who the world told you to be. Detachment isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming selective. Selective with your time, your energy, your access. Because not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. And the more you realign with your essence, the more peaceful you become, even in chaos. You are the source. We spend so much time searching for love, for approval, for signs we're enough. But what if the thing you're looking for is already inside you? You are the source of your peace, the source of your power, the source of your transformation. No external thing, no relationship, no possession, no achievement can replace what you already carry. You don't need to be more. You just need to be honest with yourself. Strip away the noise. What remains is truth, and truth is powerful. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming more present, more self-aware, more connected to your own rhythm, your own intuition. The real shift happens not when you add more to your life, but when you finally return to yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You only need to remember you've always had what you were looking for. You just forgot where to look. When you choose to focus on yourself, you take your power back. You stop chasing validation and start building foundation. You stop comparing and start evolving. It's not selfish. It's necessary, because when you grow, everything around you transforms, not because they changed, but because you did. So don't forget this. The most important project you'll ever work on is you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to The Shifted Self for more content that fuels your evolution. Keep growing, keep shifting, and never stop becoming who you're meant to be.